How y'all doing today? Take us down, DJ. Take us down. Take us down. Yes, yes, yes. How y'all doing tonight? How y'all doing? Okay, so y'all doing silent. That's a new emotion. See if we can get Facebook to add that.
Right.
So we're going to try this one more time. How y'all doing tonight?
Woo! There we go.
I want to know how did it become a standard to scream. Y'all could have said we're doing okay. Y'all could have actually answered. What made y'all think that y'all need to scream at me when I asked y'all how y'all was doing? Okay, I was just wondering. Y'all ain't had no response for that. So in case y'all haven't been here before, like world famous, our DJ Self-Born told you, this is Tech Beats and Bytes. We decided to come to Wynwood Yard and do more than just party and drink, but we wanted to educate you guys and share some knowledge. And, of course, the easiest way to do that is promote it as a day party. People come and drink, and then we just start talking, and you get engaged and entrapped, and you're like, damn, they actually saying something worth listening to. So you stay. But while you stay, make sure you make your way to the bar. Make sure you make your way to Brazilian Fire. Make sure you make your way to House of Mac and all the other food trucks that's in here serving you tonight. So my name is Michael Hall, and I'm here with my guest tonight, LaToya Sturb. Give my guest, LaToya, a round of applause. Guest host, that's my host. LaToya, why don't you tell them a little bit about what we're going to get into today?
So today is all about film. We have some phenomenal panelists with us. It's going to be so exciting. I can't wait to hear what you both have going on because we're going to dive into it. We ready to get into it?
Almost.
Okay, what you want to talk? Go ahead.
Just a couple of topics real quick we need to get out the
Ooh,
way.
before we talk about film.
Yeah, we got to.
Hot topics.
Bill Maher went ahead and apologized.
Did he?
Yeah, he apologized. But Ice Cube checked him.
What'd he say?
Ice Cube was like, that's our word. We own that word, and we're not giving it back. So I just want everybody, if you don't watch Bill Maher, you don't know the topic.
Right.
They really got into it. That was real exciting. He actually had Eric Michael Dyson on there, too. He talked to him about it. Just wanted people to understand the pain of using the N-word in any way, shape, or content. I know a lot of people see other people using it as a term of endearment,
Right.
but the history behind that word has a lot of derogatory elements to it. So
Exactly. And side note, when I was a little girl, my dad had me write a paper about it because that's when the N-word was kind of hot.
Yes.
And he overheard me on the phone, and he was like, wait a minute, I need you to write a paper about the N-word and why you should not use it. Never use it again.
Wow. Yeah. And then, we had Comey come out and testify. Told us a little bit about that other dude that's running the White House. So we just want to be honest on this stage. No alternative facts. We will not edit out anything you say, so be truthful to yourself. I know all y'all are in film. We not beeping nothing out, so please refrain from using the F word because with other content you understand that's the one word they will beep out. Everything else is open. But let's go ahead and get into it. We want to introduce our guests, but we like for our guests to introduce themselves, so keep it brief because they can learn about you later. We want to get into the topics, but ladies first, why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
Okay, thank you. Hi, everybody. My name's Kathleen Dean. I'm the producer for the Miami-Fort Lauderdale 48-hour film project. I'm also a producer for Black Cat Media. I do documentary film. I'm an educator and helping to build and change communities up in Fort Lauderdale through arts programming.
Awesome.
Give it up.
Yes.
Come on now.
I appreciate that, Elijah. Taking lead.
That was
Learn that from your
beautiful.
mama. Your mama is great.
Yeah, my mama there, so you
Yes,
know.
yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elijah Wells. I am a 19-year-old filmmaker born and raised in Overtown.
Give him a round of applause. He did not get arrested, and he is here. Yes.
Don't
Yes,
have
he
no
did not get
kids.
arrested.
I didn't
Yes.
get arrested. I
Yes.
know I got dreads. Don't be scared.
It's all right.
Don't be scared.
I had to cut mine. I
Yeah.
appreciate keep them, man.
I did it for you.
I
Only for
appreciate
you,
that. I
you know.
appreciate that. Boy, you was slick with it. I know.
But I am CEO of Elijah Wells Films, and I'm just blessed to be here, next to these amazing people.
CEO. Let's talk about that. 19
CEO
years
at
old.
19 years old. Actually, you
Yeah.
started when you were 17,
That's what I was
though,
going to
right?
ask. How long?
Actually, no.
Younger
I
than that.
started really when I was like 7.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Now I feel lazy.
No, it's okay.
Talk about good parenting.
Yeah, good.
Shout out to my mom and my daddy. But my mama here right now with the camera phone.
Yes.
Over there with
Film
the blue sweater.
Mama
Shout out to
work.
her.
Yes.
Martha Ann Wisby. Yeah.
So 7 years old. What exactly were you doing at 7, Elijah?
7 years old. I was really watching movies differently. What I used to do is go to the behind the scenes, the features, director's talk, really behind the scenes of how movies were made.
Okay.
And then I used to watch the movie and be like, okay, that's how they did that angle, that's that actor, that's the director. And from there, I just was, interested in film because that was something different. and knowing, there's not a lot of, it is now, but it's not a lot of, when I was growing up, I didn't hear a lot of African American directors, African American writers or producers. So that really was something that intrigued me because, society wants me to be a football player, a rapper, a producer, whatever. Nothing's wrong with that. But I didn't want to be the norm of what an African American man should be doing. So I was like, yo, film is where it's at. So.
All right. Kathleen, tell us a little bit about, because, I ain't even going to lie, I know y'all heard 48-hour film project. Even if I was reading it, I was like, oh, man, she do the first 48?
Right. Word association. Yeah.
I was like, oh, damn, we about to hear about some murder. So since we know it's not the first 48, but it's the 48-hour film project, tell us a little bit about the journey you took to get there.
Okay, well, we do have some murders in our films.
Okay.
But we are definitely not the first 48. So the 48-hour film project, it's the oldest time film competition in the world. It takes place in 130 cities around the globe. I've been fortunate enough to produce it here in South Florida for the last 8 years. And our mission is to get people who've been sitting around talking about making a movie to actually get out and do it. So we impose this incredible, crazy deadline of 48 hours on them. We give them a couple of props to get them going, prompts, a line of dialogue, a character, a genre, and did I miss something? And a kickoff. And we actually kicked off here June 2nd at the Yard. So from June 2nd to June 4th, we had about 400 people in the community making short films. So they started off Friday night, they completed them by 7:30 on Sunday, and then we had premiere screenings at the Little Haiti Cultural Center. And we're going to have our award celebration this Friday up in Fort Lauderdale.
So a question for both of you. With technology, I've seen some people shoot a full video or a short on their iPhone. Do you think is it just the knowledge and the interest of film, or is it the accessibility to equipment and the actual, software to edit that's making film more of a desirable element right now?
Well, I think that everybody has a story to tell, and I think it's awesome that the equipment to tell a story is more accessible now. I like to tell my students there's an African proverb, and it goes something like this. Until the tale of the hunt is told by the lion, it will always glorify the hunter. So I'm like, okay, you lions need to start telling your stories. So the project that I do, and there are a lot of other organizations in the community that help to facilitate storytellers to get out there and tell their story through film. And yes, it does help that, you can buy a camera for a couple of $1,000,
right,
or you can shoot high definition on your iPhone and tell a beautifully told story.
The hood proverb I remember is nobody remembers the gazelle, but that's just the
I gotta
aspect
remember that one.
of being hunted. So Elijah, Self-Warren wanted me to ask you this question. So just know that's a warning that I'm about to ask you some stuff that's going to be real controversial.
Okay, cool.
So this is a Self-Warren question. Cult films, 40-Year-Old Virgin, things that people are into. Why do you think a lot of our filmmakers get kind of stuck in a genre or a type versus creating stuff that reaches a larger audience? And since you've been watching films since you were 7, you could think about, what was the one with Vote for Pedro? You guys remember that movie?
Nacho Libre.
Yeah. Nacho Libre. Things that are kind of cultish, but they're very unbiased. They attract a lot of people, and you watch them over and over again. Like, the reason why I'm saying 40-Year-Old Virgin, because it was just on, and I'm just thinking everybody knows that movie. They know a line from that movie or something like that. Adam Sandler used to make a lot of those cult following movies. Why can't we make cult following things that just relate to people in general versus seeming like they're so targeted just for our people when it's made by us?
Well, the first question somebody asked me was, what type of filmmaker you want to be? They were saying, do you want to be a commercial filmmaker or you want to be a artist filmmaker? And I didn't get that. I thought, oh, we're going to be shooting commercials? Like, no, I don't want to do commercials. And then he was telling me, he was like, no, commercial as in, do you want to be in the blockbusters, theaters, all these, win Oscars and all that stuff? Do you just want to do it for the money, basically?
Right.
Or do you want to be a filmmaker that do it for your people, the art, really, do outside screenings and just tell a story that people need to hear? And it took me a while to understand that because, again, you know, a lot of filmmakers out here, yes, we have that creative side of just want to tell a story about us or tell any story that's an awareness, but it's also like I still want to survive off of this filmmaking, you know?
Right.
I don't want to make a film that I'm spending $20,000 to make and then I make nothing out of it. So I just spent $20,000 and it's not going anywhere but, you know, different community events. But now you got to get to the point where does money really, this is why I'm here for the money, or I'm here to tell the story to bring it out to the people. So that's where a lot of people are getting their head, you know, messed up at, because I'm not a Spike Lee or Steven Spielberg to where I can just say, yo, I'm gonna make $1 million movie, get $20 million back.
Right.
You know, I'm here making films. All my films are really things about my community, you know, and I'm not scared to say that my community, Overtown, shout out to Overtown, is beautiful. You know, I don't need nobody outside source coming in telling me that. So you really have to think about, and these filmmakers have to think about, am I going to do it for the money, or I'm just going to do it to tell my story?
So you just feel it's the story that you're telling.
It's the story that you're telling. So that's what you got to think about. And now I realize that, yes, I do want to go commercial. I do want to live off of this, but I also want to tell the story. And then you got to have the galls to look at these studios' faces and be like, yo, this is my story. This is what I'm, just like Moonlight. Like, you've seen the success that had. If the nowadays how Moonlight happened because what's happening now in society, that's really how it got kicked off and where it was at. And the director, Barry Jenkins, I bless that man. He had the goals to be like, yo, I'm going to write this independent film. I'm going to kick up my money, get with my sponsors, whatever, film it, and then push it out there.
So Kathleen, with your film project, and I know Toya is going to have about 3 questions right after this. How you feel you're inspiring that, or what are the things you're really trying to see changing in the industry right now?
Well, we're connecting people. So we're bringing together people who have never met, maybe some people who have no experience with people who have 20 years of experience in the industry. And they're teaching each other, and they're collaborating, and they're making films together. So I think we're changing the landscape by enabling more people to get out there and make movies. And we also have a direct link with Cannes, which is one of the premier international film festivals, and it's where many filmmakers go to sell their films. So every year our organization sends 10 films to Cannes. So we're giving, you know, great exposure to our filmmakers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say a quick correction, because it wasn't Nacho Libre, it was Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes.
The wrong N-word movie. But really
Good
quick
one.
question for you, Kathleen. I know we were having a sidebar conversation, and we were talking about how Paris is one of the largest cities that participates in the 48-hour film project. Sort of why is that, and why isn't it as large here in Miami, being that you're based here? You know, what's some of the dynamic of doing the project, working in different cities, and relating to the community? Talk a little bit about some of those challenges.
One of the biggest challenges here, well, 60% of the people that participate in the 48-hour film project are professional filmmakers. So we had something here called film incentives that, you know, help to facilitate
those are the
industry.
things that Skeletor took away.
Right.
Also known as Governor Rick Scott, just in
Right,
case y'all don't know
right.
what Skeletor is.
That was a bait question, because I already knew where she was going with it. But go
Exactly.
ahead.
So when the incentives went away, so did the industry. Production companies were going to other places like Atlanta, like New Orleans, where they could get some support to make their movies. So naturally, the filmmakers followed them because they want to work and feed their families.
So Self-Born was about to ask you this, but I'm going to put it out there for the crowd. Self, I know what you was about to say.
Really?
Do y'all know what incentives are? Do y'all understand film incentives in the crowd?
Break it down. Unpack that.
Okay, so film incentives are the basis of basically bringing an industry or bringing something where you're going to get different tax returns and different benefits. So we used to have film incentives in the state of Florida, but they were taken away from us because Governor Rick Scott wanted to apply his money to other things that were benefiting his friends. And I'm just going to be as raw with you as possible. So if you start looking at some of the legislation and you follow the money, you'll see the money started taken away from this industry. But along this journey, what you started realizing was film wasn't just making money for the people shooting film or the people being in film. It was the hotels, it was the hospitality, it was
Right.
all the high-end service, because now you had celebrities. So if you really want to know why the club scene in Miami isn't doing as good as it used to do, it's because celebrities no longer have incentives to be in Miami like they used to. So it wasn't just that Miami was hot. It was that Miami was a hot place to actually film. So they would come here, film, and that's why Jamie Foxx and people like that were down here all the time, because they were shooting movies. So when we took away the film incentives, Louisiana and Georgia were two of the biggest states that picked up on it.
Right.
So that's why almost every film you see Will Packer doing in that, at the end of it, it says something about the state of Georgia, and you see that Georgia peach, and you don't see nothing about Florida. I love New York. It's because you got a selfish governor that's running this state that took all those incentives away from creatives because they don't see the value in the arts.
Yeah.
So while you sitting at home during midterms, not voting and thinking that a presidential election is the only thing that's going to affect you, you're losing when it comes to things like that.
Exactly.
So
And
get out and
tying
vote.
into Elijah, because you are based in Miami, and the idea about incentives, how do you find your funding to do what you do?
Family, friends. That's the best thing I got right now. But I am in New York right now, going to school at New York Film Academy. But yeah, I can say funding-wise is family, friends, and people really that support me around in the community. Different companies. Shout out to Florida Film House. I want to give a shameless plug out there. So shout out to them. But yeah, really family, friends, and community leaders that really support me and want to do something more in the community.
Have you explored any crowdfunding for any of your film projects or creative projects?
I actually tried to do, I forgot one of the crowdfunding things for one project I did, but not really, because I know they have a thing where you don't, meet your match and they take it all away and it's all this other crazy stuff.
Well,
that happens.
Indiegogo has an
Yeah.
awesome project where you can do a flexible one with them. So even if you don't reach the full max, you can take whatever you do raise. So you should definitely keep that in
of
mind
course, yeah.
as you work on your projects.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So Kathleen, as you said, that now that we've lost these incentives and there's really no value of flying your celebrities from LA to Florida and shooting in Florida and paying all the extra taxes and everything, what do you think we need to kind of revive our film industry in South Florida?
Well, we definitely need to bring the incentives back. But we
AKA
also
get rid of Rick Scott. I wrote that down in my notes. Okay, got it.
we also have we have a lot of people here that are not going to leave, who are determined to do something right here in South Florida. So we need to support the local film community. A lot of the colleges brought in film programs. Miami-Dade, University of Miami, Nova Southeastern University, they're all expanding their programs. And, we have people who have the skills right here in the community. So, and I like to tell when I'm in the classroom, I like to tell my students too that, you need to look at other avenues too to utilize the filmmaking skills that you develop in film school, because not everybody is going to be Spike Lee or Elijah Wells.
Oh, okay.
But you're going to have people who are going to produce commercials that are memorable and change people's minds. And, so there are advertising agencies.
Exactly.
There are so many other opportunities to utilize those storytelling skills.
Tourism
and
in
make
Florida is a big thing.
tourism and make a living doing it.
Right.
So you need to, expand your outlook and look for other ways to utilize, filmmaking techniques.
Since y'all have said his name, do you guys know? I'm sorry, not this table, not you, Marco. I'm telling who can't answer this question. Yeah, that'd be it. Not you either, cameraman. Dante, you can't answer this. Do y'all know who actually shot the first digital film for mainstream? Come on, man. So did y'all know that Spike Lee was actually the first person to shoot a major film in digital? And he was looked upon because basically he was taking away the art of shooting in film because he was shooting digital. But if you go back and look at things, well, not She Gotta Have It. I think it was actually Do the Right Thing was the one he shot. You go back and look at Do the Right Thing, it's in HD. I mean, and it's beautiful. What he did with that was amazing. So don't ever forget the people that you see on this stage are also the people that were pioneers in a lot of the industries that get ignored. But Spike Lee was the first person to shoot in digital, and they actually criticized him for it. So always be willing to step out the box. Now, with that being said, one thing that I feel is killing the film industry goes into the TV industry also a little bit, but everything that starts with the words "the real" or "some city" has started to brand and tarnish us. How do we get out of this circle of coonery on camera to make money? How do we leave that circle?
Well, too, and that depends on if you think it's coonery. Some people may not.
Yeah, you're right. If you relate to that,
Right.
you relate. I mean, I watch it. Trash TV is great for
When you need
not
to, like,
drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
When you need to
Coonery
kinda,
is
like, take a
very
little break.
relative.
Exactly.
It's a good alcohol, but I mean, how do we get out of that circle? I feel like we're limited. At
No,
this
we're
point.
out of it. We're in the golden age of television now with Breaking Bad and all of these incredible series that are on Netflix and Amazon, House of Cards,
Orange is the New Black.
Orange is the New Black.
Right.
So is the goal that Netflix will kind of kill out mainstream TV? Because I mean, I feel the
People-
fact that
You have to create now for the small screen. People are not tuning into TV like they used to.
Right.
Those days are gone.
because I was going to say the fact that you allowed somebody to release a song that says Molly Percocet, and that drug itself is now the drug that's responsible for more deaths than automobile accidents and homicides. Which, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, we're talking about opioids. Opioids are now responsible for more deaths than homicides and car accidents combined. So, and right up the street is opioid rehabilitation capital, which is also known as Del Rey. People fly from across the country to come and recover. So I'm wondering if you look at I call them the seven dwarfs, the main people that control media, the CNN on Fox and all that. If you're allowing somebody to push a song that's praising a prescribed drug that is the number one cause for heroin addiction, if they're going to allow them to continue to push out stupid rap music, is what I call it, because I think that's just a very irresponsible song. No matter how dope the beat is, it's an irresponsible song. How do we start controlling the visual content that's reaching our youth to make sure that they're influenced the right way? Because I think a song will influence you so much, but as a person that's a visual person, the things I see impact me more than any song ever would.
You want to tackle that one, Elijah? What do you listen to?
Because
What's on your playlist?
I listen to the song. Don't get. I listen to Future Mask Off, because that's the song he's referencing from. I mean, me growing up, my mom, she never let me listen to anything when it comes to rap. Or
Your mom is
I was,
amazing, by the way.
Like, it's a quick story. My brother, he was going for this TV show. It was called Prank. And I think he had to prank, I believe it was Trick Daddy or some rapper, but he didn't get the part because he didn't know anything about Trick Daddy, anything about the hip hop world, anything. But to answer your question of how can we, stop that from happening, or mainstream and all that stuff, is really we as people have to just create the content to go out there, because right now, as you said, Netflix, Amazon, even YouTube, they're looking for content to just put out there. Theater, not saying the theater is gonna die out, but theater is not where it used to be. Where in theater, it was, when you go into a movie, it was like an event, it was a concert. All the seats was filled, But now everybody sit on their phones. They go on Netflix to watch the movie, or they wait until it goes on streaming. So we as people, like everybody's saying, we got phones, we can shoot the cameras. All we have to do is just flood the airwaves with better content. Like, it's easy to shoot something. You can do a series on Instagram, put it on there, and then you have these different companies like Lionsgate that they're redeveloping their company, because now they know that the old days is gone. The way that we supposed to get a film funding is not the way to do it. Now all these companies looking at the new age social media platforms, Instagram, Snapchat, to make something, and then like, oh snap, that's dope, let's take it and let's run with it. So as people, all we have to do is just flood these airways with great content. Yes, it's gonna be the housewives and this and that and Bad Girls Club. Yes, that's something that sadly the people want to see. But if we give them a dose of something better, they're like, oh snap, let me work.
So what you're really saying is that Insta thoughts really have a future if they just use their cameras in a different way.
Well,
That's what
I mean,
I'm just playing. You ain't got to
I'm
answer
not gonna say
that.
that, but
put 'em on the spot like
just put better content out, and that's really what I'm trying to do. That's why I started, my film festival. Second year doing it. I mean, the reason why I started my film festival is just to bring youth in a great platform to show their work and to basically feel comfortable with each other.
Okay, so
And I'd like
Go
to
ahead.
add something too. It's about parenting. I'm a parent too. And my son is a little ignorant to current hip-hop music. We have hip-hop Sundays where I'll put on some Eric B. and Rakim and some old
Okay.
school stuff
I like
just
that.
to
Classics.
educate him about
Teach.
the good stuff.
preach.
So,
Her drink is on us. Whatever she's drinking is on us.
and then, empowering youth, like Elijah was young when he got a camera. So put the tools in the kids' hands so they don't have to just be consumers.
Creative.
They
love
can
that.
start to be storytellers and creators themselves at a young age.
Yeah, and are you doing some of that with the 48-hour project? Do you have a kid component to it?
We incorporate the kids into our project is all inclusive. We have
Nice.
kids as young as 12 years old and adults as old as
I think we're gonna have to
80.
participate with Digital Grass. I think
You
we should be a
totally
part of it.
should. We had Urgent Inc. participating this past year and some other organizations.
Okay. So 2 quick questions. Can't take a long time to answer them. What's your favorite film?
Oh man,
And what's your favorite score that you've heard in the film?
Dun, dun, dun.
Jesus Christ. Oh wow, my
I can
favorite
start.
film.
Go ahead,
You
both of y'all.
Go ahead.
My favorite film is Daughters of the Dust. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but it is considered an American masterpiece.
Daughters of the Dust?
Daughters of the Dust. If you have not seen it, you should go out and watch it. It recently played, it was remastered, and it recently played at the University of Miami's theater.
Okay, and your favorite score?
My favorite score, oh gosh, my
That's a
favorite
hard
score.
I'm trying to think of the same movie.
Oh gosh, The Color Purple. I love the score of The Color Purple.
Oh, wow.
Good
Oh.
one.
All right. Elijah, close us out.
God, it's hard. Favorite movie? I like movies. That's hard to tell a
Come on,
filmmaker
man.
what movie
Just give us
he
your gut.
likes.
What's
You
your
see the
gut say?
teleprompter. You know
I
how
I
it is.
see
We
it.
running on time.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, oof, Jesus, help me, Lord.
Your gut's speaking
Um,
to you.
It is, but my heart's saying something else. Okay,
Tell us what your heart's saying. We
Right.
don't
What
care
my
about
heart's
your gut.
saying?
Yeah, what your heart saying.
the series of unfortunate events with Jim Carrey.
The way he
Lemony
shot that was
Snickets.
dope. Yeah.
That
Dope.
film was dope. Thank
Yeah.
you. It was dope.
All right,
I
and the
loved it.
score?
Favorite score? I forgot the song, but I know the score for Batman. Which
Which one? With
first
Jack
one?
Nicholas? With the one that Prince
The
did?
one that Prince did, right.
Because, I mean, we was about to get real happy if you know, if you're talking about
Yeah,
yes,
that
that
exactly.
one.
one. Okay, we're going to
That
go
one.
with that one.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
We're going to go with one that Prince did. The one that
Prince.
Prince wrote every song
Right, he
for
wrote
a
every
producer
song.
episode.
Right.
All right. So, Elijah, we know you like that extra ice cold water because you're too young to be drinking. So we'll make. But Kathleen,
I
what are you
appreciate
drinking?
I drink tequila.
Tequila. So somebody buy Kathleen a drink of tequila. And let's go ahead and get to part 2. So we want to thank you
But
guys
we
for
got
joining us with
wait,
Texas.
hold up.
We got to
hold
get
up.
to the second part, man. We got to go. Timing. We got to
Okay,
go. We
well,
gotta go.
I'll save it for later.
All right. All right, guys. We're going to take a little break while the rain comes down. We'll get
And
back
swap
to
it
you.
out.
Give us 1 second. Mind if we get on with the show?
I'm ready.
I'm just-
Let's get it.
We're networking.
That's what I'm talking about. See, networking and making things happen. Elijah, how many of these people up here you know? You know the man Marco, right? I know.
Yeah.
Elijah, your mom is really awesome. I'm going to tell you some of the great stuff she did for me, dog. Your mom is dope. Now I know why you're such a cool kid. So we're back with part 2 of Tech Beats and Bytes, Digital Grass, House of Mac, supported by Timeline Brewery, Knight Foundation. Never can say the name. Say it.
Cosmology.
Cosmology. Yes.
What is cosmology?
We're going to talk about that because we need to make some commercials for it. We should do a cosmology commercial contest.
I would love that.
We're going to announce that
Get
at
some
the end of the day.
beautiful curly ladies to
Beautiful,
do some awesome
beautiful.
things.
So we're talking about we want to get more into the technical stuff. You guys are big influences in the community, big impact. Marco, you know, you got Urban Film Festival. We know about your project Filmgate, and your interactive has a very much of a South by Southwest of the film feel to it. That's what I think about when I see that.
Thank you for saying that.
Yes, I picked up on that. I was like, oh, they got layers to this, like interactive, and I'm like, whoa, I might have to take notes. This is when you come with the whole laptop to start typing. So won't y'all tell us a little bit about yourself, because we know you, but the audience doesn't. So won't you just introduce yourself, and as always, ladies first.
All right, cool. I'm Deliana Alexander, and I'm the executive director of Filmgate Miami and Filmgate Interactive, and also the co-founder of the Downtown Media Center, newly minted. So Filmgate Miami is a local nonprofit organization that supports independent filmmakers in all of Florida, the largest filmmaker and actor collective so far in the moment. What we do is we want to give Florida a voice. So we support local filmmakers with production resources, with space, with mentorship, with workshops. We want more films like Moonlight to be out there to represent us.
So you're
Don't get
kind of
mad.
like the co-working of the film industry.
I think we're the
Incubator maybe would be a better word.
probably the
Accelerator.
incubator, accelerator
Actually,
of the film
she's
industry.
kind of all three of them
right.
in one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
It's
We got so much to learn from the people up here. All right, that's amazing. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. Let's give her a round of applause, y'all. I mean, y'all, you don't know how to spot money from afar. See beauty, see money. Go ahead, Marco.
So I'm Marco Mall, the Florida Film House. There's 15 of us. I got a couple of my partners. My partner Blaji's here. I got
All right.
Yo-Yo, Frenchie, Bayo's here. So basically, we're a film production studio right here in Wynwood. We film a lot of service-based content, and then we also film our own movies that we create and do everything in-house. We also have a program called First Take where we teach young inner-city kids about film. And we just got 3 of our short films in the ABFF that we'll be playing on Sunday at the Haitian Cultural Arts Center.
Congratulations to
Congrats.
that.
Yeah.
What
and
are the
then-
films? Give it. You got to drop the names.
Yeah, one is Prodigal Son. The other one is Rumors. You guys got to help me with the third one. What's the third one, Elijah? Elijah was there with me. Ooh, that was yours. Full Circle. That was Full Circle.
Okay.
So yeah, we do that in Overtown. It's
Okay.
cool. We do that quarterly. And then we also have a festival called Urban Film Festival that we do every Labor Day weekend. And it's really about educating, exposing, and giving distribution opportunities to young up-and-coming urban filmmakers together, total.
We'll be looking for our press pass so we can come cover that.
Got you, for sure.
So we're going to make, not that we didn't ask certain questions for Elijah and Kathleen, but we're going to go a little deeper with you guys real fast because, you know, our main thing is to share knowledge. I got a question now. Me and Self wanted to know the answer to. We was talking about this 2 weeks ago. How does Netflix really make their money when they're giving out these 10, 20, $60 million deals and people are paying $9.99 a month? Like, what do you think that's doing? I know it's giving a lot of people in the film industry different exposure, but then I see a lot of garbage on there. Like I saw an Adam Sandler movie that I was like, oh, that must have been a part of a 10-movie deal and you just trying to close out the deal. So what do you think? What is Netflix doing for the industry, or how is it helping, how is it hurting, and how do they actually make money?
Well, I mean, my take on it is that Netflix has so many users. I mean, there's like, you know, it's global. It's not just America. They got hundreds of millions of users probably. I mean, they're up there. And, you know, if you're getting a good amount of money from each one of them, you can, you know, you're up, you know, monthly. That's coming in every month. When they do a contract, they do it for years.
But I'm thinking more so from a tech side, and I could be wrong, but has Netflix turned a profit at this point?
Yes.
They have?
Yeah.
How profitable is that?
I don't know the exact numbers, but I know that.
Okay.
I know that just off of the one they did with Pablo Escobar, that helped break
Oh,
him in.
Narcos?
Yeah, and that helped break him in the other markets, and it made them billions of dollars.
Oh.
So I might add something to the conversation. I was just at Cannes, and the big deal at Cannes at the moment was that Netflix got super booed because they were releasing films at Cannes and at the same time on Netflix. So that was the biggest controversy in Europe because
Wow.
they did this thing where they released them at the same time, and this is so no-no in Europe because they want to release it at the theater first before. And all of the European filmmakers were talking about the fact that Netflix hasn't turned a profit for the last 2 years. So
See,
because
that's
they
what
don't
I
release
heard.
any numbers, nobody knows if they do it or not. The thing is that they rely on original content, right?
Right.
So original content is where I think they're hoping that they will make the users. So it's becoming like a subscription channel,
right.
in a way,
Right.
right?
So
they're
it's like a
hoping that
real
people-
powerful YouTube is what they're
Right.
really looking.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much, yeah. But nobody knows. It's a very opaque system, so you don't know how many people are watching a movie. You don't be like
Because
they
they're
don't
not
really
publicly
release-
traded yet, are
They
they?
don't release any
give
numbers.
you
No, I don't
info.
think so.
Yeah, that's like a rapper that said he went platinum, but he won't let the numbers
And you
go.
really don't know what's going on in that
Yeah.
bank account.
Yeah.
But what filmmakers are saying is that instead of Netflix, the best buck for your money is actually Amazon. So if you wanted to do this independent distribution deal, Amazon would be a better way to go than Netflix in order to get money back.
I got you.
Yeah.
So, real quick, I haven't had to do this before. We appreciate the crowd, but if you are at the bar, be respectful of the people that's actually trying to listen in to the content. That's why we're not as loud as we are, so you can actually still engage, but other people can still hear. I promise you, I've never had to do that before. We appreciate you guys being here, but honestly, I got a lot of to learn today, so I need y'all to be quiet. So going back to what I needed to say.
Nobody else.
So with that being said, you're talking about like original content and the opportunities to make money. And this is going to be a little bit off topic for you guys, but it's more relatable to your industry. I was talking to some of my friends that are heavy into the music industry, and I was trying to explain to them, learn the art of making music that reflects emotions or circumstances so you can start scoring movies and scoring stuff for original content. Can you guys kind of enlighten some people about how broad that opportunity is to make, original scores and to make original music that's for like, commercials, TV shows and movies and things like that? Can you kind of delve into that a little bit? As we like to say on the show, can you unpack that theory for us?
Right. Because David Banner's a good example
Yeah, he
of
walked
someone
away.
who went from music into doing a lot of scoring, and RZA as well from Wu-Tang.
Right.
Some really good examples.
There we go. I mean, there's definitely a lot of opportunities. I mean, a lot of music's not monetizing like it used to, and of course, films, content is king, so it's picking up. I mean, I find it kind of hard to find really good scoring, like, because a lot of the musicians, they're used to doing music and they haven't really translated to that emotion that you're saying. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not about the music, it's not about the beat, it's about the feeling, and I think people that are going and studying in that stuff have a lead ahead of most of the people that are just from the music industry right now.
Gotcha.
Now, that's going to change because, like you're saying, they're going to get it. At the end of the day, they're creative.
Do you guys understand why I address the aspect of scoring out of everything? And if you haven't figured it out, the next time you're watching TV or the next time you're watching a movie, notice how often there's never dead silence or just voices. And those are the things you'll pay attention to. Music itself is a universal language that can enter the soul whether you want it to or not. So when you're watching a movie, if you start paying attention to it, and a lot of people, when I do stuff like this, they be like, man, I hate that you did that because now I can't just watch a movie. I'm looking at it different. When you watch a movie, notice there's rarely dead silence, and there's always some kind of sound or music in the background that's actually making the content what it is. So that's kind of why I asked that question. But as you guys being two leaders in the film and entertainment industry, we're not filming or nothing, just I gotta blow kisses. I just wanted to know, what do you think are some of the major elements that's missing in South Florida besides the incentives? And once again, I'm gonna move past that. We already know Rick Scott messed that up. What's one of the things that we're missing, or some of the elements you feel we're missing in South Florida to make us a film powerhouse? Because we got the weather, we got the location, we got the people, we got the diversity. What are we missing down here?
May I go back and answer
Absolutely.
the music question and then the
Absolutely.
incentive question, and then
Yes.
go to the third one? Okay, cool. So musically, I think the film industry is a very kind of nepotistic place. So once you start working with one composer, one cinematographer, you kind of keep them until somebody else. So it's very hard to break into. But once you prove yourself and somebody loves you, like let's say a director loves you as a composer, they keep using you. So for example, one of my favorite composers at the moment, his name is Roman Javadi. So he did the Game of Thrones score.
Oh, okay.
But where he really got me was Westworld. I literally had that score on repeat and played it in my in my car while I was driving. It was so good. It was so powerful. So I think for people that do music in Miami, they should connect to a really talented filmmaker that they like, and they say, well, we'll do your first one for free. We'll
Gotcha.
score your first film for free, like short film, let's say, right? And then kind of build that relationship where they will know that they will always be going back to them because they created the first amazing score for free. So for example, we do a monthly film festival called I'm Not Gonna Move to LA. We were talking about this, right?
Oh, wow.
Right here at O Cinema. So it's right there.
Okay.
It happens every month.
O Cinema every
O
month.
Cinema,
I'm not
Wynwood.
going to move to LA.
I'm not gonna move to LA.
Gotcha.
So it's all in the name, right?
Okay. It says everything.
So we have musicians and composers that come to us and go like, we're film friendly. So we have, for the first half hour at the screening, we give them the mic and we go just pitch to the community. We have 120 people in the audience. Just pitch to them, say, I'm film friendly, I do music, hire us, like we'll do it for free for the first time. And then I think that's a really good way to break into it, and then kind of cut you whatever the cliche is, right? Just try it the first time, because making music for a track is very different than composing a score for a movie, because you have to kind of follow the emotions,
Exactly.
And know when to punch it.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, and it's very manipulative in a great way, right? Like, yeah. That's for me.
Okay, that's for the music, and you
That's
said
for
you
the
had
music. Incentives. What makes me really happy is that, of course, you're right, Skeletor. I can't wait for him to go. So hopefully, what is it, in 2 years or 3 years? 2 years, right? It's
1 year. They vote
1
next year.
year.
Yeah,
1
he's
year
out.
left. Okay, amazing. So we don't know who though. We need to know who the film-friendly governor is.
Andrew
we can vote.
Gilliam, that was an alumni of
Yeah?
FAMU, is very film friendly
Okay.
and is a very good guy. So
Andrew?
I will be endorsing him right now on
Little
camera.
plug.
Yes,
I'm
little
endorsing
plug.
him.
Rattler.
With you. Okay, awesome.
Andrew Gilliam.
Andrew Gilliam.
Yes.
Okay, vote for Andrew Gilliam.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
sure he'll be meeting the community in the next year.
He
so-
came down.
He was down here recently,
Yeah,
wasn't
he was down here
week?
last week. He was
Right here?
he was up a little bit further. I think it was in
Okay.
like Margate or something, right? But he was down here. Andrew was down here. So very good guy.
Okay, cool. Thank you for the tip.
Yeah,
so that's
sharing
So
knowledge.
everybody vote for, because it's not just about voting for Trump or not Trump,
No,
right?
it's about voting for the things that's really going to affect you.
100%, because
Right.
that will really affect us locally. But the commissioners locally are starting to do incentives.
Oh.
So, for example, the Miami Beach commissioner presented an incentive package and actually got to a vote. So right now, the commissioners of Miami Beach are voting to do a local incentive package for Miami Beach.
Self-born. Record this twice, bro. This is our plug.
And then this Thursday, there's a hearing for Miami-Dade. So the Miami-Dade commissioner is presenting her package that she's, and I think it's 10%. It's not 30, but still on $1 million, you get $100,000 back. So it's not a bad one, right?
It's a
$1 million
start, though.
yeah, it's a start. And it's what's good about it is that 50% of your cast and crew have to be Miamian, so you can't import them from outside.
Oh,
'Cause
that's
back
really
in the
good.
days, right?
Oh,
That's
that's
really important.
dope.
Yeah.
So if you want to support it, show up with white shirts at the Miami-Dade, the B. Clark Center, the Clark Center on Thursday at
Okay.
1:30.
Right, downtown
wearing a white
Miami.
shirt, yeah, downtown Miami, and support the film incentive because
And
that's
that's this
going
Thursday?
to vote this Thursday at 1:30.
All right, we're going to have to make that a 1-minute
Yeah.
clip and get that information out. Support that.
I mean, 'cause that's very important. That just speaks to local government taking it even more hyper-local
Exactly.
and affecting the local community. I think that's
Exactly.
fantastic. Yeah.
100. And then to your third point, what are we missing? I think we're missing authentic voices. We have the authentic voices, but I think we're
Man,
missing.
this sound like the music conversation we had 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Sound real
But
familiar.
it's on film, and I love it. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody wants to copy someone else, like a Quentin Tarantino. I'm like, no, we live in Florida. We have Florida stories. Make your Florida stories. Have your authentic voice. That's the important part, right? So I think that's what will create the next Moonlight, create the whatever the next film is
Exactly,
that comes
yeah.
in and wins the next.
And so
award.
before we move beyond that, I want you to answer, Marco. I'm just
Please, yeah.
anybody in the audience, if you have a question, in about 5 or 6 minutes, we're going to open up for questions. Let me tell you what normally happens. When we get to the last minute, one person comes up and finally asks the question. Then 6 more of you will come. Can't do that tonight. Trying to keep this down to a certain time because we're trying to submit our content to Netflix and a couple other places to get picked up. So if you want to ask a question, when I say we're open for questions, please make your way up because when I close it down, so you'll be right over here. This is stage left. Make sure that you come over here and ask your questions, all right? So, Marco, go ahead, continue.
I think distribution is a problem. It's
Let's
like
talk about it. Get into it now.
A lot of people locally, they go and they film, not thinking of where they're going to distribute prior to filming, and I think that's a really big problem because distribution, making money is what we're doing this for. That's what allows you to keep doing it. And I think a lot of people have a lot of content that's never really monetized. So therefore, you're in the film business, right? So
Okay.
you're not in the business until you actually sell your content. So I think that we need to start, maybe helping educate people on distribution. I mean, I just learned about distribution recently, because I just...
So check this out. When can we do a workshop with you two about distribution so people can teach people?
I mean, you got to schedule. I'm down, you know what I'm saying?
Did Leanne leave?
I think so.
I'm down.
But Venture Cafe,
We'll do it at Venture Cafe.
exactly.
Or the
I'm down.
Downtown Media Center.
Or very much so the Downtown Media Center
Right.
will open up their doors. So,
Exactly.
that's
Coming
dope.
on in.
So you think now, this is part of why people like me on stage and part of why they don't. Self-born wanted me to tell y'all.
Don't throw it on self-born all the
Unbelievable. Now
time.
you
You the scapegoat, so that's all I'm saying.
What are we missing in the, I guess, the knowledge or educational component to understand the value of distribution in just some of these channels that we create? Because I feel we had talked about it even in the music industry and certain things where we're heavy consumers but not creators. And I guess one of the hot topics, we can talk about it now, we kind of missed it. You had a lot of people mad at DJ Khaled for the song that he made with Drake, and they were like, "Oh, he's still in the Miami
music.
sound," and it's like, all y'all, nobody else was making it.
Right.
All y'all were trying to copy the dudes up in Atlanta with mumble rap.
I mean, you can also say he's exposing. I mean, it's,
Right, so
he's looking at it.
He did what he had to do.
Right.
So instead of, I always say a lot of people complain from the sidelines and never come with a solution. So what's some of the solutions we need to push, or what's some of the things that you guys are, I want to say maybe more so aware of? You know, like we didn't know about the commissioners. I didn't know about that. So that's awesome to know, and we'll make sure we put that out and put it on our newsletters or whatever we can, because we pivoted our company to start making content because we also felt that South Florida didn't have a voice. So like when you think about it, guys heard of the Ricky Smiley Show, Howard Stern, Tom Joyner, Breakfast Club. None of that represents what's going on in South Florida. So I was literally at a location, won't disclose it right now, but I was like, who is the Breakfast Club of South Florida? Like, where's our voice? Where's our image? You know, who's representing us and telling our story? Because we have literally become the laughing joke of almost every political comedian, where like even John Oliver last night was like, just imagine how much better America would be if we just got rid of Florida. And they like literally showed Florida separated from the map. And then it was like, how much better would Florida be if the panhandle of Florida was given back to Alabama? Florida would be a blue state. Like, that's how they're looking at Florida right now. Florida is like the laughing stock. So what is some of the knowledge that you guys can share that we can do to make Florida a better location for all these things that we're going through right now? I feel like we almost need an image revamp. And
Some rebranding.
yeah, we definitely need to be rebranded. How do we help? Not just how do we help?
Keep making more movies, more documentaries, because
Documentaries.
that's what gets out there. This is a powerful voice. So if we just let Tallahassee speak for us, then you have like a certain voice of Florida man or Florida woman, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
But if you make movies that tell the different stories from the different communities, because every time I'm Canadian. So every time
That's
somebody...
why you're so cool. Canadians are always cool.
Right. Every time somebody comes and visits me from Canada, they expect to hate it here.
Right.
And then I take them to this, amazing places, and they're like, Miami is awesome. Like, Florida is awesome. Like, why didn't we know about this? So let's show the world why are we awesome and why we have this amazing cultures.
So we aren't just missing a voice, we're missing the visual aspect of what.
And that just goes back to the whole LeBron thing, taking them to South Beach. Clearly, Miami's not South Beach.
Right.
And the whole retelling of the story and showcasing that we're more than
bro, you don't
that.
even play on South Beach. The stadium is in Miami. Like,
Exactly.
I remember when Miami Gardens, the Dolphin Stadium, they used to be like, live in South Beach. I'm like, bro, that's Miami Gardens. Y'all-
so far away.
like 30 minutes away from South Beach. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
All right. So we don't have any questions from anybody out there?
We got a DJ question.
Go ahead, DJ. Open them up.
I want to know. Well, I just want to hear you guys say what you would like to see next in the industry.
I was just thinking that, like, what's the next genre? Like, what's missing?
This is
Yeah,
why
I
we doing
got
this.
you.
This is why we-
I was really thinking, like, what's missing? What's the next genre? What's the
Right.
content that's missing?
Well, literally, I'll leave it open to what's in your mind, because we're all visionaries. We're always thinking about what's next. So whatever you're thinking about, you want to talk about what's next.
What do you want to see more of, and then what do we
Exactly.
need more of that will also make money? Let's
Exactly.
look at it in two different ways.
Because we got young filmmakers in here, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Wonder Woman is making a lot of money right now, right?
All right, shout out to the women in Wonder Woman. Yeah,
Yeah,
Wonder Woman
saw
had
last night.
groundbreaking.
Strong female Florida character, so would love to see that.
Okay.
And a sci-fi film, a sci-fi Florida film that does really well.
Sci-fi
Sci-fi
in
Florida.
Florida.
That sounds like
That's
the
pretty
name
cool.
right there.
I mean,
Sci-fi
damn,
Florida.
that heat is sci-fi itself. Just,
The mosquitoes. Look, we could do a whole thing about
ooh,
the
we could make
mosquitoes.
a movie
Yeah.
about like killer mosquitoes. And
That's
just,
what I'm saying.
I like
They
that.
morph and all that crazy shit.
Just call it Zika. Just-
Right?
One
Live.
word power.
No, they don't kill you. They change your voice, make you sound different. So when you call somebody, they don't know if you one thing or the other.
Maybe they
You gotta
just
make
make
it
people-
deep, man. You gotta make it deeper than typical.
I see it's raining.
should have a
I want to get my
writer's
answer.
circle.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up due to inclement weathers, but we want to thank you guys for coming out and supporting Tech Beats and Bytes. Actually, we're going to keep
Absolutely.
talking, but we're going to shut down the camera. We want to get the rest of this content. So y'all can listen in, but we're going to keep going. All right, appreciate you all. This is Tech Beats and
Never got
Bytes
to you. I wanna
here at
hear what
Wynwood
you
Yard
want.
with
think we need
Digital
more
Grass
culture
and House of
in
Matt.
this film.
Thank you for supporting us. We'll be back next week.